letter, yeah. Letter.
That practice or that game. He took him some nights from 5:30 to 7. He started because I was really
All right, it's 5:30. I'd like to call to order tonight's regular Board of Education meeting for Wednesday, September 24th, 2025, here in the boardroom. Could I have a roll call, please, Tammy?
Amber DeRizzo.
Here.
Jacqueline Gremler.
Here.
Mike Cornisher.
Here.
Ron Liberty.
Here.
Paul Crew.
Here.
John Smith.
Here.
Brett Waller. Nubs Ashbeck.
Here.
Kevin Blake.
Here. Please join me and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Merrill Area Public Schools Board of Education meeting. MAPS respects the role that our elected board members serve and the function of our board meetings. Board members and administrators are committed to working collaboratively to provide our students with the highest levels of achievement. This meeting is a formal event, and professional conduct is the expectation for all in attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Next, we have allocated time for public comments to the board. Tammy, did you receive any of the pink sheets? I did not either. Anyone want to public comment at this time? Seeing none, we will move on. Next, it's recognition. I will pass that over to Shannon.
Thank you. October 5th through 11th is Wisconsin School Board Appreciation Week, and of course we will meet until after that. And so tonight we wanted to recognize and honor and thank our board members for their service to our district. A couple of gifts. There's a pie there, the pie scooper, is that the term? It's courtesy of the Fab Lab. It's engraved as a thank you. There's a card. There's a years of service pin, the years that you've served on our district, and then there's a handmade card from the third grader at Washington School for everybody. And so we've been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate to see that we have a great board that works for the right reasons. We've had board stability, which helps us move things forward. We have good discussions, good, thoughtful, professional discussions, and I recognize and appreciate the time that everyone spends to help forward our district and to serve our school district. So thank you very much for all that you do, and I'm very lucky to be your super program. So thank you.
Shannon, just to clarify, we give out pins at 5, 10, and like those increments. So that's who got their pins the 5 years or the 10 years. Keep staying on the board, and you'll get your pin.
They're nice pins. Yes.
All right, next on our agenda, I'd like to introduce our Student Board of Education members for their representative reports. We got Parker Wagner and Eric Grunwald. Take it away.
Well, next week is already homecoming. It feels like we just started school, but we're already there. And we're getting ready for a fun few days of activities and dress-up days. This Friday is float building and window painting for the different grades. Next Wednesday is the much anticipated Powder Puff game, and the Powder Buff game will be on Friday. Both start at 7 p.m. for $2 admission. Also on Friday will be the homecoming assembly with fun games and competitions. And Saturday will be busy with the parade at 11, the football game at 1:30, and finally the dance at 7. So far, the Merrill Marching Jays have participated in 2 competitions, taking first place in Baldwin and third place in Cumberland. It's a great start to the season, and we're looking forward to seeing how the rest of it goes. And we have another competition this weekend in Waukesha, so we'll see how that goes. Tomorrow is the pre-ACT for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. They'll take the test in the morning and resume classes with a shortened schedule in the afternoon when they'll be joined by the seniors.
The Link Crew leaders tried something new this year. We met as a group at the ropes course over the summer. During Link Day, we did various activities, including assemblies, icebreakers, and scavenger hunts around the school. The day went well, and we received positive feedback from students and staff. Fall sports participation numbers are up. Student school spirit at games is showing through, which is really helping our teams this year. Clubs have been meeting during flex period. As the school year continues to progress, it seems like many freshmen have signed up for clubs, which is good to see.
Thank you, Parker. Thank you, Eric. Any board members have any questions for Parker or Eric this evening? Thank you for all the updates. No surprise questions. Every once in a while I come up with something and maybe I warn you and don't tell Mrs. Dietert, so that's always exciting for her, but I didn't do that. Great start to the school year. We'll think of something.
We could get this information from the Lake Water Club.
Yeah, I don't know. Parker may know.
Mr. Juniors.
We'll see. I get a scouting report from my son-in-law. I think he's one of the coaches. So this time I will turn it over to Mr. Murray for administrative reports. Just a reminder, board members may have asked some questions to clarify things, but feel free to ask questions during this segment as well. Shannon?
Thank you. Item A on administrative reports is the Director of Pupil Services Special Ed report, focusing on the annual report from Lynn County Health Department. Amber is here this evening if there are any questions for her. Item B is the State of Civil Schools updates and data story. That was shared with CTP last week. And Amber has her report. If you click, just to summarize, if you haven't seen it, if you click on that link in the overview, this is worth highlighting because we have made great strides, particularly at the middle school, with regards to referrals, both classroom referrals and office referrals, courtesy of our work that started last year with Stoic and Champs framework under Amber's leadership. So kudos to everyone on our staff that has really made that happen. We are very happy with those results and heading in the right direction. So that's been very positive. But if anybody has any questions or comments for Amber, she is here. Item C is school-based vaccination clinic information. That information is provided from Amber as well. And she's available to answer any questions regarding that if there are any. Item D is the Director of Curriculum Instruction report focusing on professional development. Amanda Patterson is here. And Amanda's done some great work in revamping our professional development, especially our August professional development, to include onboarding and work with paraprofessionals this year. So that's been really good, including our YA students. Our YA education students participated in that, so they could get the full feel, our education YA students, and it's just been a real nice change. So kudos to Amanda as well on that. But she's here if there's any questions on that. Item E is Tech Department report. There's a number of things on there, including some E-rate projects that were recently completed. Andrew does a good job of reporting on building tickets, some start of the year things, and he is here. He got us in a very good shape for the start of the school year. We had a very smooth start with Tech, courtesy of Andrew and his crew, but Andrew's here if there's any questions on his report. Item F is the Director of Finance budget update. The link is the lower one there. That was submitted by Mark. He's out of the office this week. He kind of talks about some of the things. Third Friday was last Friday, and so we're working on those counts so we can get the enrollment down and get the revenue limits. Waiting on some information on general aid and some of those things. Those things will start coming together now pretty fast between here and October in Mark's work. But if anybody had any questions for Mark, I could forward them on to him. Item G is the Grow Your Own Finance Director update. Heather Solberg is here. She shared that information with the HR Finance Committee last week. In short, it kind of goes through some timeframes that are coming up. We're very pleased with the progress that we're making with Hazley, who's working with Mark and taking her classes. And we're working on an intern for second semester so that she can spend a greater amount of time with him as well. So Heather is here if anybody has any questions for her. Item H, Director of Human Resources report. Heather, again, is here. Some information on United Way fundraisers, some T-shirts that we provided to staff at the start of the year, which were very well received. And then an update on the PTO bank. I think the number is 75. Is that closed, Heather? Are we still accepting?
It was in the 70s. I closed the bank because I wasn't getting any new responses.
So a reminder to the board, last year you approved a PTO bank of 100 days. 78 days were donated into this bank, and so there's a process now if any staff needs to withdraw from that PTO bank. But 78 was the number that was donated. Item I is the Director of Buildings and Grounds Transportation Report. Nick's got some information there about PFAS out at Prizzle and the updates there. We continue to work with the DNR and some granting work there. It looks like the solution is going to be water treatment coming into the building after trying other things, like walls and stuff. But Nick's here with any update on that, or as well as an update on the flooding situation from PRMS this summer. So he is here. And then item J is the superintendent's report. I went to the WASDA Fall Conference last year, and some information about the sessions that I attended there. It was very informative. WASDA always has a really good fall conference. I think our annual meeting and our budget hearing went very well last 2 weeks ago. And homecoming's coming up, as Parker alluded to and pointed out. And I continue to start my day at the schools a couple times a week. Tammy schedules me in, and that's been very well received, and I will continue to do that. So I'm here, obviously here. I'm here if you have any questions. If you didn't notice. Thanks.
Thank you, Shannon. Next, we have committee reports. First there would be the Facilities Committee. Attached were the draft minutes from the September 10th committee meeting. Myself as chair and other members of the Facilities Committee are available for board member questions. Do any board members have questions for our Facilities Committee? Any questions for Facilities Committee members? Otherwise, next would be Finance Human Resources Committee. Attached were the draft minutes from that September 10th committee meeting. John Smith as chair and other members of the Finance Human Resources Committee are available for board member questions. Any board members have questions for our Finance Human Resources Committee? Any questions for Finance HR? Otherwise, we'll move on to CTP, Curriculum Technology Pupil Services Committee. The attached draft minutes were from that September 10th meeting. Ron Liberty is chair and other members of our CTP committee are here for board member questions this evening. Any questions for our CTP committee members? Any questions for our CTP committee members? All right. Hearing none, next on our agenda, we have a placeholder for unfinished business. We do not have any earmarked as such, so we'll move on to Board of Education business. First, under that part of the agenda is the fiscal year 25 evacuation drills. A topic summary sheet was provided by Amber Liska, and we have a recommended motion from our Safety Committee. Any board member willing to make a motion on this agenda item? Paul?
Move to accept the evacuation drill logs and submit them to the Department of Justice Office for Safety.
We have a motion by Paul. Do we have a second? Second by Mike. Any discussion or questions on this motion or topic? Any questions or discussion on this motion or topic? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries on a voice vote. Next item on our agenda is after-school programming in the Boys and Girls Club of the Wausau area at PRMS Prairie River Middle School. Attached was a topic summary sheet from Shannon Murray. Recommended motion from our Finance HR Committee. Anyone willing to make a motion on this agenda item? Nubs?
I move to approve the funding of after-school programming provided by the Boys and Girls Club at Prairie River Middle School, not to exceed $10,000 from the Community Service Fund.
Motion by Nubs. Do we have a second? Do we have a second by Jacqueline? Any questions or discussion in regards to this motion or agenda item? Any discussion or questions on this motion or agenda item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is naming of the Guy Palicki practice field. Attached is a topic summary sheet from Shannon Murray and Chris Hahn with the recommended motion. Anyone willing to make a motion on this agenda item? Mike?
Recommend motion to name the football practice field in honor of former Merrill High School teacher and coach Guy Palicki.
We have a motion by Mike. Do we have a second? Second by Paul. Any questions or discussion in regards to this motion or agenda item? Any questions or discussion in regards to this motion or agenda item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next, we have the consent agenda. Before I ask for that motion, I will ask if anyone wants anything pulled from the consent agenda to be handled individually. Anyone like anything pulled from consent agenda to be handled on an individual basis? Otherwise, I would look for a consent agenda motion. Ron?
Motion to approve consent agenda items A through D, which include minutes of the August 2025 meeting, receipt of the September 15, 2025 annual meeting and budget hearing minutes, claims, vouchers, and receipts totaling $2,452,839.25, donations totaling $4,343, and the attached personnel report contingent upon release of contract for hiring and upon satisfaction of the appropriated liquidated damage for resignations if relevant.
Motion by Ron. Do we have a second? Second by Mike. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is items for future meetings. As you know, the purpose of this agenda item is to identify items to keep track of or stay mindful of for either future full board meetings or committee meetings. Any board members have items they would like to make sure are being monitored or for future meetings specifically? A couple things on the list that we are being mindful of, some things going on long-term wise at the middle school, trying to understand that. And while we talked earlier in administrative reports on the Grow Your Own Finance Director, can that be looked at for other positions such as STEM or music teachers, etc. So those are a couple examples of things on that list. I don't see any hands up for other items to be added. Feel free to contact Mr. Murray or myself to have things placed on the regular board meetings, or anyone that is the chair of a committee meeting for items to be placed on those agendas. Reminder that tomorrow morning, much like every Thursday morning, approximately 8:15 a.m. on Blue Jay Radio, we'll go through tonight's board meeting and any events going on in the district. We will also highlight future meetings such as curriculum technology pupil services, which next meets on Wednesday, October 8th, 4:30 p.m. in the boardroom, followed by Finance Human Resources, no sooner than 5 p.m. here in the boardroom on Wednesday, October 8th. Head Start Policy Council meeting is Tuesday, October 14th, 5:30 p.m. out at Pine River School for Young Learners. Our next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, October 22nd, 5:30 p.m. here in the boardroom. Next, we have a contemplated motion to adjourn into executive closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes under section 19.85(1)(f), considering financial, medical, social, or personal histories or disciplinary data of specific persons, preliminary consideration of specific personnel problems, the investigation of charges against specific persons, except where (b) applies, which, if discussed in public, would be likely to have a substantial adverse effect upon the reputation of any person referred to in such histories or data or involved in such problems or investigation. Purpose of the closed session is to update the board regarding a former employee. Anyone willing to make that motion this evening? Paul? Do we have a second? Second by Mike. Can we have a roll call on that, please, Tammy?
Amber DeRisso. Jacqueline Bremner.
Aye.
Mike Cornisher.
Aye.
Ron Liberty.
Aye.
Paul Crew.
Aye.
John Smith.
Aye.
Nubs Ashbeck.
Aye.
Kevin Blake.
Aye. Right, we will secure the room, and in a couple minutes, we will start closed session. Thank you all for your attendance.
We've had 2 minutes.
Oh, no.